Hello, I'm Amanda Gore, and I'm here today to talk to you about a leader's job, a 21st century leader's job. And before you settle back and go, oh, well, I'm not a leader, I don't need to think about this. Oh, yes, you do. Everyone is a leader. Who's in charge of your own life? That would be you. That means you're a leader in your own life. Now, it's a bit corny, but, we all have to accept responsibility. And if I'm going to employ somebody, I want someone who perceives themselves as a leader, no matter what their title is. It doesn't matter what your title is, be a leader and take initiative and do those sorts of things. But I'm going to give you the inside tip on 21st century leadership. And basically, everything in life is about feelings. Everything. And I've been talking about this forever. But because I'm female and I've been at corporate conferences and sometimes I do silly things, people go, oh, well, she was cute, she's a bit fluffy. No, this stuff really matters. Like when we talk about leadership or working with anybody else, what are we really talking about? We're working with humans. Oh, surprise. And humans haven't changed that much, really, since Neanderthal times. We still operate on the fuel of feelings. And have you ever heard of a company called Saatchi & Saatchi? They're one of the big global advertising agencies, one of the top 2 or 3, I think. And I had the opportunity to listen to Kevin Roberts, the worldwide CEO, speak some time ago. And he said at Saatchi & Saatchi, every advertising campaign they orchestrate is filtered through this formula. People are 80% emotional and 20% rational. They don't care about facts and figures. And Daniel Pink said, there is a mismatch between what science knows and business does. There is a mismatch between what science knows and business does. We now know, based on reviews from Harvard Business Review, like serious research, that happiness makes for a better workplace. It makes people more productive, they perform better, you get better output, better results, they're more creative. It's like, duh. Well, but at least now we have scientific evidence to prove that it's true. What's happiness? Oh, gosh, that would be a feeling. And so people really care about how you make them feel if you're in a leadership role. And even if you're not in a leadership role, everybody cares about how you make them feel. They're really not that fussed about you. But they don't care about facts and figures. They do care about you acknowledging them and recognizing them. But they're not that fussed on the facts and figures. And if you're in sales and you think giving the team a target that's 500% higher than is easy to achieve, and I know you've got to stretch them a bit, but don't think that's what's going to inspire them. You are going to have to be the one that creates the inspiration. Now, how do you do it? Well, a leader's job is threefold. It's threefold. The first part of a leader's job is to help people change their behaviour. And lots of people go, oh, a leopard will never change, but you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Yes, you can. Neuroscience proves that we can change our behaviour, but we have to want to change the behaviour. In fact, we can change our behaviour in a heartbeat if we want to. Think about this. The last time you were having a fight with your partner or spouse or, roommate, flatmate, housemate, and you're there and you're blah, 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 you suck, blah, blah, blah. And the doorbell goes. And you go to the doorbell and it's a friend. And you go, oh, come on in. And you walk into your previously horrible spouse that was screaming and shouting and you were shouting, and you look at them in a loving way and say, oh, look who's here. So don't tell me we can't change our behaviour in a heartbeat. And so as a leader, what you want to do, because the first thing that happens when you say to people, we're going to change, or we need you to change this, what's the first feeling that comes up? And it's an F word. It starts with fear. That's the very first reaction they have to anything. It's human. When we're told we have to change something, our very first reaction is fear. So you've got to understand that and frame change in a way that people see it as growth and development, because they know if you care about them, one of the ways they know you care about them is that you are helping them grow and develop. So you can come to people and go, right, we're going to change everything because this is all terrible. It's not good enough. We have to change. We have to go here. We're merging. Some people have to go. Some people blah, blah, blah. Stop. Do not do it that way. Frame the change in a way Frame the change in a way that you are going to be able to show them that this will help them grow and develop. Because people want to grow and develop, even if they're not conscious of it. And they feel like you care about them when you're helping them grow and develop. So the first part of a leader's job, help people change their behavior, which you can do in a heartbeat if you tell them a story that touches their heart. And the last piece on this is from Stephen Covey in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He tells a story of being on a train. He tells a story of being on a train. And in this train, he's tired. It's the end of a long day. And he's trying to get home. And he doesn't want to be interrupted. And at one station, a young man gets on. He has 3 small children. And the small children are running amok on the train. And Covey's annoyed. And he's trying to read the paper. And they're bashing the paper. And he puts up with it for a little while. But eventually, he's very grumpy. And he looks over and he says to the young man, "Look, can you do something about your children? Because they're bothering everybody on the train." And the young man kind of comes out of a coma and he looks at Covey and he says, "Oh, yes, look, I'm so sorry. We've just come from the hospital where their mother died." Now, what do you think happened to Covey's behaviour? In a heartbeat, he becomes compassionate with the young man. He starts to play with the children. He looks after the children. We can change our behaviour anytime we want to. We just have to stick to it consistently. So that's the first part of your job. So the second part of a leader's job is to create an environment in which people can be the best they can be. And that's joy-filled and fear-free. Now, I've been saying this for a long time and people are going, "Well, that sounds very fluffy." But, as Daniel Pink said, there's a mismatch between what science knows and business does. When you've got a place that people are happy in, and there's a big difference, by the way, between happiness and joy. Happiness is very externally dependent. It's waiting for something to happen and then I'll be happy. It's not going to happen. You might have a temporary change of how you feel, but you'll go straight back to how you feel. Joy, on the other hand, is an inside job. It's something that's already in you. It just needs to be allowed to emerge. So your job as a leader is to allow people to have a joyful workplace and to facilitate that. So model it in your own behaviour. Joy actually is the new competitive advantage. And Harvard has done studies, and so have other universities, that say people who are happy at work, and joy is much deeper than happiness, so they've just done the studies on happiness, are more productive, they're more creative, they're more inspired, they're more engaged, they produce more. These are real tangible results. So be very careful of going, "Oh, well, they're not here to be happy." Oh, yes, they are. Of course, they're there to be productive, but joy's the competitive advantage. It's the new competitive advantage. Help people have a sense of purpose in what they're doing, because that's critical in having people engaged in a workplace. Help them have a sense of belonging. Model for them that it's okay to laugh, that it's okay to make mistakes, that it's okay to do all the other things that are human and not generate fear. And if you pride yourself on being a leader or someone who puts the fear of who knows what into people, time to look in a mirror, because science shows that you're not going to be the most effective leader. And you're certainly not going to make people feel good. People are already riddled with fear. They don't need you to reinforce it. What they do need is for you to make them feel good about themselves, to enjoy what they're doing. Get rid of the miserable people, keep the optimistic, positive people on board, and watch your business grow. So the third thing that's a leader's job is and this may be, in fact, the most important, although all of them are important, is to help people believe in themselves. Now, you think back to the best boss you ever had. And you've already thought of that person by now, and I don't need to give you any more time. But if you think about why that person was the best boss you ever had, it was because they made you feel good about yourselves, because they believed in you. At some level, you unconsciously knew that they believed in you. So what can you do to help others believe in themselves? Well, the most important thing is for you to believe in them and to give them opportunities to shine. And, if they don't shine, well, make them feel good about that in a way that helps them grow and develop. Life isn't all about being lovely and sugary and being the person that everybody likes, but it is about being the person that everybody respects. And if you can help people feel that they're capable of doing so. You know, I know the greatest gift my mum ever gave me, the greatest gift, despite the fact that I had, you know, my deeper fears that I've talked about in another video, my mum helped us believe in ourselves. And we believed that we could do anything we wanted to do as long as we put the work in. Now, how can you make people at work feel like that? How can you make your children feel like that? Because those three things I've listed as a leader's job, they're also a parent's job. How can you help your children grow and develop? In other words, change their behaviour. How can you help your children be in an environment that will help them be the best they can be? And how can you help your children believe in themselves? Remember, Daniel Pink said there's a mismatch between what science knows and business does. Be the person that blends new science with the fact that you're leading humans and they have feelings and they want to feel good about themselves. They want to be in an environment that allows them to shine and they want to grow and develop and feel they have a strong sense of purpose. So, there you have it in a nutshell, how you can make everybody around you feel fabulous and build an amazing business. Ta-da!